Assalamu alaikum. I'm Luqman El-Kasabany and this is 𝐲𝐤𝐬𝐬 Academy. This episode will be the part 1 of the introduction of the connected letters الحروف المتصلة. So stay tuned.
𝐲𝐤𝐬𝐬 Academy.
This is just to remind you that we are explaining using Al-Minhaj book, the official book of 𝐲𝐤𝐬𝐬 Academy. So connected letters is one of the most Arabic lessons, Arabic reading lessons. So let's discover this lesson now. So when we say or when we speak about the connected letters, we speak about the different positions of the letters. How this? Okay, each letter has 4 forms which look very similar to each other. So why each letter have 4 forms? Let's discover that. Now the letters we discussed before, okay, are called the isolated form of the letters, which means this is the shape of the letters, okay, when it doesn't follow it by any letter or comes before any letter. Okay, this is what's called isolated form. But what if we put this letter in the words? Why if we for example, okay, example, now we have letter B, okay, and we have letter sin, and we have letter ta. Okay, I mean we have letter B, the isolated form. I mean we have letter sin, the isolated form. I mean we have letter ta, the isolated form. Okay, now if we want to make a word, okay, that their letters, these letters, okay, for example the word basata, okay, basata, we will write this word in this form using the isolated forms, or we will make another thing. So this word will be in this way, or these letters will be connected to each others. Okay, this is our topic today. So let's discover that. So now we have this form, and we have this form, and we have this form, and we have this form. This is what we meant by each letter has 4 forms. Okay, so what does all these forms mean? Okay, first of all, this form, the first one, it's called the isolated form, as we said, which means the letter as isolated, a single letter. Okay, it means that this letter is not in a word, okay, because if this letter is put in any word, it will take a different shape. Okay, so this is the isolated form. Okay, so when we speak about the isolated form, we speak about the letters that doesn't come in any word, but we can say that the other 3 forms when the letter is in the word. So when the letter is in the word, it might be one of 3 things, whether in the beginning of the word, or in the middle of the word, or in the end of the word. Okay, so we have this, it's called the first one, the initial form, which means the letter comes at the beginning of the word, and we have middle form or medial form, which means the letter comes at the middle of the word, and we have the final form, which means the shape of the letters at the end of the word. So why we made 3 forms, initial form and middle form and final form? The answer is simple and easy, which is because the letter in initial form has different shape, and the letter in the middle form has another different shape, and the final form has another different shape. Okay, so the shape of the letter changes depending on its position, has certain shape in the initial form, and certain shape in the middle form, and certain shape in the final form. So for this reason, we have three forms of the letter when it comes in the word, okay? Because if it's just one shape, we don't need in this case to have three forms, but the reality that we have different shapes for each position. So let's now take an example. Now we have, for example, the letter B. Okay, this is the shape of the letter B in the isolated form. Again, we said the isolated form, it means that when it doesn't come in a word, okay? But if the letter B, okay, comes in any word and it comes at the beginning of the word, okay, now we will move from the isolated form to another form, which is initial form. So let's see how letter B will look in the initial form. This is the shape of the letter B in the initial form. It will take this shape, okay? This part will be removed like this, and it will be like this. B. This is the initial form. Let's zoom in to clarify this. This is the initial form, okay? So what if we want to put a letter B in the middle of any word? Okay, it will take this shape, okay? You will find this line before and this line after, okay? So the letter B will be connected to the letter before in this way and will be connected to the letter after it in this way. For this reason, it's called, or this lesson is called the connected letters, okay? So, and lastly, what if we want to use this B and change it from the isolated form and to put it at the end of any word? It will take this shape, okay? It will end in this way, and the line that will connect to the letter before still the same. Okay, now it's the time to understand this point, which is the Arabic language is read from the right to left, okay, from right to left. So we will start writing this from right to left like this. If we write any word like ba, sa, ta, the word we said. And also let's take an example of the letter B at the middle of the word, okay? Ta, ba, qa. You will see letter B is connected to the letter before and letter after, okay? And lastly, let's take an example of the letter B at the end of the word ka, ta, ba, okay? You'll see how letter B looks at the final form. So this is the introduction, the end of our introduction today to the connected letters, and this is the part 1. And in the next episode, inshallah, we will take the part 2 of this introduction. If you have any question, just let me know in the comment section below. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. Now we came to the end of this episode. So if you want to follow up the next episodes, consider subscribing. Also, if you want a qualified Quran tutor, whether for yourself or your kids, we are providing online Quran classes. Don't forget to check out our app. See you inshallah in the next episode. Assalamu alaikum.
Shaykhi Academy. Learn and enjoy.